let's start Newton's law of motions. Okay, see some examples. Static object, which is a stable, that object does not move without any force, right? Then if we keep the book on the table, what is force required to lift that book? That force is not sufficient to lift the table. Means here the book and the table weight is different, that's right. Then the fruits on a tree is fall down when its branches are shaken, right? That means after shaking the branch, the force is produced on the fruits, that's why it's falling down. Then an electric fan keeps on. If you switch off the button of the electric fan, it keeps on rotating, right? This means every object has a property. That property is known as a inertia. In last standard, we are studying about the inertia. Inertia is always related to the mass of the object. Newton's first law of motion describes this property. Which property? Inertia in his law, and that's why the first law of Newton's is also called as the law of inertia. Now see here, in inertia, in the first law of motions, Newton's first law of motion, what does he explain? He explains about the balance and the unbalanced force, right? You always played the tug of war, that game in your childhood. Okay, if we from both sides, if we apply the forces equal, then what happens? The rope do not change its position. The center of the rope is static, right? But on the other hand, if the force is unbalanced, means left side force is larger than the left side force, then the rope pull towards the right side, right? Similarly, if the force is left side force is more than the right side, then the object or the rope is pulled towards the left side. Means unbalanced force, if gets applied in the direction of the greater force, right, then the center of the rope shifts in that directions. Okay, so Newton explained his law by using the inertia, unbalanced and balanced force, which is known as a Newton's first law of motion. What is explained? An object continues, an object C continues to remain at rest. Object remains at rest, or if it is in a state, it is in a state of uniform motion along a straight line. Along a see, it continues to remain at rest or state of uniform motion along a straight line till or unless unbalanced external force acts on it. Till that it remains in a rest or in a motion along a straight line. Okay, in this way Newton explained his first law of motions. This property is related with the inertia, so that's why it is also called the law of inertia. Means when object is at a rest or it is uniform in motion in a straight line, it does not change its rest condition, or it does not change the direction of the motion till the external force is applied on it. When an object is in a rest position, on the rest position, suppose this pen, now pen is in a rest position, but on this pen at a time there is so many forces acting on it, but all these forces acting on it are equal and the opposite direction, so they are get cancelled, and that's why that total forces become zero. Okay, Newton's first law explains this phenomena. Okay, in Newton's first law explain the phenomena of this property of pain is called as inertia, and that is explained by the Newton's first law of motion. It also explains the unbalanced force. Now suppose if we apply the force, so that other force become unbalanced, and that's why this pens is move on the other side, right? uh, that is why the state of that object can be changed if it is at rest or it in a uniform motions. Means all the instances, all the examples related to inertias are can be called as an example of a law of motion. Now see the second law of motion, Newton's second law of motion, right? Here in the first law of motion he used the inertia terms, right? Then in the second law of motion he used another concept. This here, when a force applied on the body, the total effect is depends on the effect striking on the object depends on mass and the its velocity, known which mass and the velocity. And this means effect of force is, this means the effect of force depends on property, okay, which is related to mass and the velocity, and this property is termed as a momentum. It is termed as a momentum, which mass and the related to the mass and the velocity, okay, right? So here momentum can be described as it is the product of mass and velocity. It is the product of a mass and velocity. So write this definition, momentum. Then mathematically we get that P means the momentum and the mass, M is the mass and V is the velocity. So the product of M into V is called as the momentum. It is a vector quantity. So by using this momentum, Newton explains his second law. What is explaining his second law? The rate of change of momentum. Rate of change of momentum is proportional to, it is proportional, means it can be changed or increase or decreases according to the applied force. It is proportional to the applied force, and the change of momentum occurs in the direction, and the change of momentum occurs in the direction of the force. In which direction we apply the force, in that direction the change of momentum is applied. Now let's see here, what is this expression? Suppose here m is mass of an object, u is initial velocity, okay, and f is force applied on it, and v is final velocity, right? So we get the two types of the momentum. First momentum is a initial momentum, but we know that momentum P is equal to m into v. So according to initial momentum means it's a mass is a constant, and v means velocity, so we can express the initial velocity, but here we take initial velocity, so it is equal to m into u, right? Mass is equal to mu. Similarly we get the final momentum, and that final momentum is mass into final velocity, means it is equal to the mv. So here we get the two types of momentum. So not naturally initial momentum and the final momentum are not same, there's a difference. So if we take the rate of change of momentum, so we get the different change, rate of change of momentum is equal to final momentum minus initial momentum upon time. So it is equal to the, see, final momentum is mv and initial momentum is the mu, and time is t. So by take the m are constant from both sides, so take m constant outside the bracket, so v minus u upon t, right? But A is equal to V minus U upon T. So if we put that value in equation, say that M is equal to A, right? So rate of change of, so rate of change of momentum is equal to M into A. So but according to Newton's second law of motion, second law of motion is what is there? It is the rate of second law of motion is what is the rate of change of, according to that, rate of change of momentum is proportional to the applied force. Proportional to applied force. Therefore, M into A is proportional to F. Okay, but so we get the F is equal to K into MA, where K is universal constant, is proportional to constant. Okay, and that's why we get that F is equal to M into A. Okay, here we get that M into A. Okay. Here we get that rate of change is equal to F into A. So here, by considering the two objects having a different masses, now suppose there are two objects and both objects having the masses are different. One is lighter and other object is suppose heavy, and on this both objects this same force is applied on both sides. Okay, so by applying the same force, this lighter object's velocity is more than compared to the heavy objects, its velocity is low, right? Okay, but when these both objects are in a rest position, then its momentum is 0. Okay, then after applying force, its velocity, lighter object's velocity more, heavy object lighter velocity is low. But what about the final momentum? Here the initial momentum is 0 because they are in a rest position, right? But when apply the force, when they are in a rest position, the initial momentum is 0. But after applying force, it's a final momentum. Whose final momentum is now more? Lighter object's final momentum or the heavy? Naturally, here is a velocity more, but the mass of this object, whose mass is more, that object's final momentum is more, because the momentum is depends on the mass. Okay, in both objects same, and the total change in their momentum will be also same. Here sorry, it's not same. Then in a both object the momentum is same. How much it is same? Fine, it is same, because here the force is applied force is same. That's why the final momentum is same. Okay, thank you.